Hello. Hi.
You surviving in these temps?
Oh, barely, barely. Still drinking my iced coffee though.
Crazy.
Hello. I don't know if anybody noticed, but we have a lot of club members in Tulum right now, which is so fun. Ashley, who is normally on these calls, she is hosting a retreat, and a lot of our members are there with them as facilitators at the retreat, which was really, really cool. I love that that happened in the club. So I've been watching all of their Instagram stories and just living in Mexico vicariously through them, pretending like I was soaking up the warmth. Okay, I'm going to dive right in as I usually do, just as people are hopping on. And obviously, this is recorded as usual, so you can always come back to the replay. But instead of doing a little mini training today, I just wanted to chat through some of the questions that I've been getting around the growth challenge that we're running right now, which is super exciting. I know a lot of you on the call right now are taking part in it. And a lot of the questions were just around like filming content, batching content, what kind of content I was creating. So I'm going to go through some of those. I'm actually going to pull them up so that I don't miss any of them because I think if one person has a question, other people also have the same question. So this won't take very much time, and then we will kind of jump into the hot seat coaching. Okay, so in case you missed it, we are doing a growth challenge for the month of February. Every single day, I am sharing a real idea. So this will include a hook and caption direction. Obviously, I'm not writing your captions for you. I would love for these to come from your lived experience, your beautiful brains, conversations with clients, your expertise, but I will give you direction on those. And I am providing an example every single day so that you can look at the way somebody else has done it and make it your own. One of the first questions I got was, how do I actually batch my content? And Meg Spolstra, who is in this group, her handle, let me make sure I tell you exactly what it is. She is like a pro at batching content, so I would suggest that you give her a follow. She shares a lot of tips on this. So her handle is thecontentlounge.co. I'll pop it into the chat. All right. So she shares a lot of tips on this. The way that I'm going to explain how I do it, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So if you want structure, Meg is your girl. And if you want as easy as possible, I'm your girl. So what I did, and I just did this on the weekend, is I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, it is a beautiful sunny day. We don't get very many of these in Canada. In the winter, it's usually gray and kind of like gross. So I'm going to film a bunch of content. I literally got myself ready. I picked out three outfits, which consisted of literally the exact same jeans and just three different tops. Okay. I'm very simple. And I filmed things that I normally do on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So I filmed making my coffee. I filmed some clips of me just like cutesy drinking my coffee. I filmed putting my coat on, taking my coat off, putting a hat on, taking my hat off, walking towards the camera, walking away to the camera, away from the camera. And all I am trying to focus on when I am filming this content is movement. Okay. When you're scrolling on Instagram, well, I'd be curious to see if you feel the same, but when I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'm watching a lot of B-roll, because on Instagram we have a lot of B-roll content, right? It gets a little bit repetitive. What stops my scroll is movement in the first 3 seconds. Okay. This is like somebody waving their hand, somebody doing something with their hair, somebody putting something on, taking something off, making something, right? If somebody's B-roll is them making food, making a drink, doing something with their hands, I'm immediately focused on that reel. So when I'm filming my content, I'm really just trying to think about movement. So I have some videos of me walking into my office and sitting down at my desk, opening my laptop, like any kind of movement. And obviously, these examples are very geared towards me and what I do. I work on my computer. But if you have something that you do in your day-to-day life, film that. Okay. I could have done a lot more. I could have done like walking out of the house, walking into the house, doing a workout. That is something that I share. Well, I haven't been sharing recently, but I usually share a lot of on my social media is me doing my workouts. Try to think about what you're actually just doing on a day-to-day basis and film that. Okay. Do a couple of different outfit changes. Like I said, I didn't even change my pants, I just changed my shirt. Do a couple outfit changes so that you have a bit of variety in your content. It took me about an hour, like just over an hour to film, I think 27 clips. The other thing that I want to say that will help, film for at least a minute. Okay. Whatever you're doing, film for 60 seconds because when we're making B-roll reels, we're using 5 to 7 second clips. So I might actually be able to get, depending on what I'm doing and like the faces I'm making, I might actually be able to get 3 reels out of a 60-second clip, right? So if I have 27 videos from an hour, times that by 3, like you do the math. I don't know what that is, but that's a lot of videos. So you can actually batch quite a bit of content in an hour if you're being intentional. And you can just sit down ahead of time and think like, okay, what are some things that I can do that I can film that are quick, that are easy? And another thing that I had suggested to some of the girls is to actually, like, I always love to set a timer if I'm going to scroll on social media, set a timer for 5 minutes and scroll through the Reels tab and just see what stands out to you. Like, what B-roll is actually standing out to you and catching your attention. You can save it to a folder on Instagram and make that one of the shots you're going to get when you do your batching. Hopefully that's helpful. So that is how I get so much content in a short amount of time. And then that is the B-roll that I find works best for me because that was also one of the questions was, do I have B-roll that works best? Any B-roll where I'm moving, literally any B-roll where I'm moving. Um, some of my more viral videos actually are videos of me walking towards the camera, away from the camera, or across the shot. So if you just set up your phone on a tripod, walk up to it, walk away from it, and walk from left to right, walk from right to left across the screen, those ones usually do pretty well for me. Just trying to see if there were any other questions around that. Oh, I edit all of my reels in edits. That was another question. What am I using to edit in? I used to use CapCut, then they started charging for CapCut, and I am like the less overhead, the better. I do not want to be paying for programs and software and all of these things. Again, I'm so simple. So I use edits. It's free. I don't do any really, really fancy editing. I find if you start doing a lot of fancy editing, it will lag, just if you're into that. But otherwise, it is great and it will retain the quality of your video when you upload it to the platform, like into Instagram, which is good. So I do everything in edits. I had a question about today's prompt with the reintroduction video. So if you're doing the growth challenge, prompt for today is up and it is a reintroduction reel. I posted it this morning on my own account. It is a heavier edit. Yes, you do not need to be so fancy. It can be much more simple. Just do what you can do, give it the personality you want to give it. But I did all of that in edits. Okay. I'm not using CapCut. I'm not using anything fancy. It is just in edits. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to double check my list, but does anybody else have questions about batch creating, or if you're stuck on what kind of B-roll to create for yourself? Um, if you have editing questions, I can answer those.
Have you seen a difference in using edits comparatively to just like the regular Instagram? Because like I go back and forth with it because sometimes the edits, like you said, can be too much. So like if I'm doing something like simple or if I've already like cut the clip and like I know that that's what I'm going to use, then I'll just put it into like Instagram and then instead of going over to edits than just doing it in there. Have you seen a difference
Hmm,
in either one of those?
I haven't. Actually, Missouri just posted a video recently saying that there are some myths around if you edit outside of the Instagram app or outside of edits, your video won't get as much reach. And he did debunk that. He said it will not make a difference where you edit your video. So it shouldn't make a difference where it's actually edited, as long as it's being uploaded with no watermark. Of course, we don't want any watermarks, but no. And honestly, Kristen, like editing in Instagram is, I find it's good enough. Like especially for a B-roll reel.
Oh
So
yeah, I've cut down and I was going to ask you, do you go ahead when you're batching, do you go ahead and like take those like 1 minute or whatever and then pick out your seven? Like do you already have all of your 5 to 7 second videos like on your phone like ready to go now or like already preloaded or do you do that just when you're ready to post and like obviously once you have your caption?
yeah, so I honestly do it when I am posting. So I will generally think of the real idea first, then I will decide which B-roll I want to use for it. And then I will kind of scrub through the footage of like the 60 seconds of that reel and pick out either one 5 to 7 second long clip, or sometimes, which this can make it go even further, is the little chunks of the video. So I'm using like 2 second long clips throughout those 60 seconds, which I can add can also help with your B-roll retention where there is like a lot of movement and there's like 2 second chunks of clips. Is that making sense? In my brain, that's not making sense. Um,
No, that makes sense. And I, anytime that I've done it for myself or another business, if I am going to do like something with a lot of movement like that, like chunks, then I'll try and do like keep the same, like either 2 seconds or 2.5. Like each little thing needs to be like the same so
yeah.
that it's not like, and then it all just goes away.
Yeah. No, I love that too. Or like if you're getting really fancy, putting it to the beat of the music where the little clips are. That's super fancy. Sometimes we have time for that, sometimes we don't.
I like
But
to do that.
yes, yeah. Okay, I don't know if I need to make mine look like my ideal client or if it just being just me is enough. So, either, honestly, like I think that it is perfectly fine to have clips of you working, clips of you, like if you are going to, I'm trying to think of what you do in your job. Like if you are going to your ideal client and doing a shoot with them. Like I know you do content shoots sometimes with your clients. So you filming B-roll of you driving in your car, going to the shoot, walking to their business, behind the scenes of you shooting their content, all of that stuff. Like my client is in a treatment clinic, but I'm working from home. Totally fine. So you can have some of that content when you are actually with your clients so that it looks like you're in some sort of aesthetic business. But it is absolutely fine to have your clips being of you in your element, like in your home office, in your home,
All right,
out
boys,
for a
let's go.
coffee, walking down the street with your matcha. Totally fine to have both
Oh,
because you're going to have a very specific hook on top that is going to speak to your ideal client, right? A lot of times, especially when you're in mentorship, you may not actually be in working in the business the way that your client is. So you absolutely don't have to have all of your footage be in clinic. Okay, perfect. I love to have variety in my B-roll, so I think both is good for you. Does anybody else have any questions on that? Mm. Do you record in 0.5 or 1? 1? I have some clips in 0.5. I would say I might just be a true millennial in this moment because it feels like the younger generation loves their 0.5, and I feel like it looks funny when I do it. So, hey, the 0.5 is an elder millennial. Yeah. I think it's just one of those things maybe I'd have to start doing and then get used to it. Everyone has a strong opinion about it. I can see a lot of circumstances where it makes more sense and you can get more of your surroundings in the shot, and then your face isn't actually so close to the camera, especially if you're holding the camera. So I do like it in that instance. And I like when, the cool kids do the flip, you know, where they're filming, where they're walking, then they flip and then it's filming them. Um, Again, it's just, I think, preference. And then the movement is the piece where they're capturing the attention, right? When you're doing, I hope you guys all know what I'm talking about with the flip. I don't know, the Gen Z flip. Um, you either know or you don't know, but it's just movement. It's just movement and it's capturing your attention. I love a point 0.5 flip when I'm traveling and hiking. Yeah, beautiful. Like if you try to do that not on point 0.5, it's just going to be a whole lot of your face and nothing in the background. So how they do that, I don't know. Okay, I can send you a tutorial on that. I love this conversation. I feel so old. Yeah, me too. Okay. Anybody else have questions on that? And then we can move on. Everyone's good. Okay. I'm not going to make the tutorial, but I have a tutorial saved that I can send you. I'll put it in the community so that everybody can see it and then everybody can know what it is. All right, I'm going to just open this up for hot seat coaching. If anyone would like to chat with me about anything that is going on in your business, I know a lot of people right now are launching new offers, are putting together new freebies, are putting together new platforms. If you would like, just put HS in the chat. So HS for hot seat, and I will just go in order of how they come in. Okay, Kate, you are up first. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, awesome. I'll go on video too. Okay, so my best performing content and the stuff that I get the most responses and comments and all the things is like when I'm just sharing about my life, which does not have to do with my business. So I've been trying to make it like sharing about my life with, because I work with relationship with food, like how I healed my relationship with food, but that's like so far in the past. It almost feels like inauthentic to like show up and always talk about it because it's not something I'm currently dealing with. So I'm just curious on like how you recommend balancing, I don't know, like when I post, like even the ones that we've been doing, like I'll post them, like how I would, X, Y, and Z, and I don't really get anything when it's like tips.
Okay.
And I don't want to build a personal Instagram.
Okay. I was going to say, do you also find though that you get conversions from the content that you're currently sharing that you know does well? Like, obviously, you're saying it gets the most attention, it's performing the best, but is it also converting for you?
Honestly, I don't sell anything right now, so I don't know. Yeah, because I've been full. Remember I told you like I've been full for so long with one-on-one. So I want to launch something, but yeah, so I guess that's a good, but it's like when it's crickets, it feels like it's never going to convert because nobody is interacting with it. So
Mhm. My approach to it is always like, I do not want to fix what's not broken, right? So if you said to me, this is getting me the most eyeballs, the most engagement, the most like I'm talking about vanity metrics essentially. Like when I post this kind of content, it pops off and it converts, then I'm like, okay, we don't want to change that. We can maybe approach it differently though. Because if it feels inauthentic for you to share because you are so far removed from actually being in it, can we approach it from as someone who dealt with that in the past? Right? Like, here's what I do now because of what I've moved through.
yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah.
So you're still able to share what you're personally doing or the behind the scenes. Like, I think about, you know, how do you build a plate now? How do you approach grocery shopping now? How do you, and these might be bad examples, but you know what I
No,
mean?
they're great examples. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, like how do you like think about food or when you have a craving for food, how do you approach it now as someone who has dealt with that in the past? Because
Okay.
adding that line is still giving you the credibility of like this is something that you have worked through, but then you're not speaking from being in it.
Yes. Because yeah, that feels so hard to do because it feels hard to even, I mean, my clients talk about it all the time, but like personally, it feels hard to like remember how bad that was because I'm so
Right,
far from it. Okay. No, that's really
right.
helpful. So like
Okay.
the now, like sharing the now, like the kind of the transformation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single one of us usually was our ideal client at one point, right? We now, most of us, are in a similar situation where it's like, okay, we are very removed from actually being in the nitty-gritty of it because that's why we teach it, right? Because we've mastered it, or we have the skills to continue to master it because a lot of us are in work that actually never ends. So I understand why that feels inauthentic or it feels difficult, but it's like you have learned so much that you can share. You have had your perspective probably shifted a million times around food. Your opinions around food have probably changed a million times. So you can always say what I used to think, what I used to feel, what I used to do, or like what I do now as somebody who used to deal with this. So you're still really coming off as credible. You're still showing them that you know exactly how they feel and making them feel seen, but now you feel better about actually saying it because now it's relevant to the now.
Yes, yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, and I think it's always hard for me that people like engage with this content so much more because I'm about to finish my doctorate in nutrition and I'm like, I'm literally giving you tips that people pay me so much money for and you like don't care about them. And I'm like, why don't you care about this? Like you care about my, whatever, but I need to get out of that and just be like, share whatever feels authentic.
It's funny because that is really the change that we are just seeing on the platform, right? Where we were in this era of information where everyone shared information and you could access anything that you needed. And we loved it. And I think we still love information with a caveat because we are slowly moving out of the information era and we are moving into the personal brand era where we want connection. We want to connect with the human behind the screen. We want to connect with the person that we are going to be investing in. We want to know what they've been through. We want to know their opinions, their values, their beliefs, their perspectives. We want to actually feel like we know this person. Now we want to give them this information through our story, which is essentially what we were just talking about, right? Like what I have learned, what I've overcome, what I have, how my opinion has changed, the perspective I have now, somebody who's been through this. You can still give the information if you want to give the information through your story.
No, that's helpful. Yeah, I like thinking of it that way.
Yeah. because your story is really going to be the thing. This is like actually just such good proof of what I'm about to say, your experience. Your story is what actually makes what you're about to say sticky. Like when we talk about sticky marketing or sticky content, there are a million people in your industry who can share tips, right? So if you just share tips, you sound like everybody else in your industry. But when you share your story and connect it to the tip or connect it to the lesson or the information, it now feels sticky because nobody else's piece of content sounds like yours. You stand out.
Yeah.
So I love that that's the content that's getting views and engagement and attention. And it kind of proves that that is the direction that Instagram is going. So now we just like educate through it.
Yeah. 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 I think it's the point about like you don't have to put yourself back in that scenario. Like you can be in the now is the game changer for me. So I like
Amazing.
that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next? Alicia.
Yeah,
Alicia.
well, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm like out, so it's a little loud. I just want to talk about my like real. I think okay. So when we spoke, you're like do more blogs, and like da da da. I was doing that. I feel like that stuff in B-roll gets a lot of views, but never does anything. You know, does that make sense? Like it's kind of for an algorithm, I feel. It's kind of like I get the views, but it doesn't do much for me.
Okay, so the message that I sent you in the community on Monday, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, like I think we like looked at my content and you know, I feel like I stopped doing a lot of the vlog
Mm,
influencery shit because it gets a lot of like views, but it doesn't actually lead anywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get followers. I don't get anything from it. Like B-roll is the same for me. Like my B-roll from what we did, what, on Monday, if you look, I posted it on my feed. It got over 1,000 views, but nothing came, like I don't get followers from anything. You know, does that make sense?
yes. So I'm not saying that you need to post blogs. I was more so actually, this is really connected to the conversation that I just had with Kate. I was saying I would love for people or for you to let people in to your life, to what
Yeah,
you're navigating, the lessons that you have learned, what you do differently now because of what you have been through in terms of your health, your fitness, your relationship with food.
right. So like the
Um,
kind of hooks that you're doing now for the trial reels, like that kind of stuff. Like the things I've learned, basically like whatever to get rid of bloating and to all the things without dieting and blah blah blah. Correct? Like that
ex
kind of content. That's
exactly,
okay. That
because
makes sense.
oh,
That makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
okay, a lot of what you create right now is that like teaching content. Like, here's what you're struggling with, here's why, here's what you need to do instead. Like, that's a lot of your content right now in different ways, like in a B-roll, in a talking
Yeah.
head,
Right.
whatever format. What I would love to see you add in, and again, this is the exact same conversation that I just had with Kate, that when she shares her personal lived experiences, her personal moments, that's when she
Right.
gets the most attention. You're currently not sharing a whole lot of that. So I'm curious to see if you start actually bringing more of you in, if you will stand out more in your niche, first of all, and attract the ideal client who aligns with your story, who needs to learn the lessons that you have learned, who likes your opinion and your perspective around health and fitness. Because you have a very unique
Right.
perspective, right? Like you don't approach weight loss the same way as other people.
Right.
But on the surface, when I look at your content, I wouldn't say that that's like it doesn't jump out at me. You know what I mean? So if you could
Right.
tell more of your story and why you believe the
Right.
things you do and why
Right.
you like feel the way that you feel about it. Because I know in the past we've created some content around that did really well for you. So I think if we brought more of that in, you would probably see some really good results from it.
Yeah. Okay. Um, also, what was I gonna say? I did the trial reels and stuff like that. Again, like I don't know what it is. I just never got followers. Like I didn't get a lot of views on the trial reel. I actually got more views on my feed than for that one, for the Monday one.
So with the trial reels, and this is just like general for everybody, because trial reels took me a minute to crack the code. With the trial reels, what I tend to find is if my trial reel has gotten views, it generally means the hook stopped the scroll. So the hook was good. The hook
Right.
worked. If I'm not seeing the action that I actually wanted, so whether that be keyword comments or follows or like engagement of some kind, save, share, whatever it is that I'm asking
Right.
for, then it's generally my caption. That my caption wasn't like valuable enough or
Right.
felt like something they'd heard before, or like I have to like look at my caption, take off my I made this hat and put on my pretend I don't know me and I'm my ideal client hat and be like, why
Right.
didn't I care about that?
Right.
Which is really hard to do, but if you can look at your content as if you are somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know what you do, who doesn't know why they should care, who doesn't know how good you are at your job, and look at it and say, do I care enough to take the action that I'm asking for? And if no, then just
Right.
tweak my caption. I keep the same hook and I just tweak the caption.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah,
with
that
the
was like
trial
I think
reels,
my
it really
biggest.
is like test and refine.
Right. Okay. Um, yeah, there are some people that only do B-rolls and they like don't even do any talk. Not that I would want to do that, but um, like, what do you think about like a lot of like doing like 3 B-rolls a week and like 2 talking reels a week?
So I really believe that the energy you put into your content is the energy you're going to get out of it.
Right.
And if you hate B-roll reels and
I
you're
don't
making
hate
it, and you're
that.
like, okay.
I mean,
If you
they're easy to do, so
okay. So as long as you're like going into it with the energy of like, okay, I don't actually mind this,
right,
then I would
right.
say let's try it. Like your B-roll reels are going to be more of your visibility content. So I would love to see more of those, like in the ratio.
Right.
So
Okay.
3 of those, 2 talking head, I think is absolutely fine. And then try
Okay.
making some talking head around you. And even actually, now that I'm thinking about the message that I sent you on Monday, even the one video you made where you went to the local store and you were like showing what food you were getting, that one did really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I didn't. And it's crazy. I mean, the other person reposted it, and it just got views. It didn't get. I got no followers.
Okay. But like I said, I think we need more you. And we have to remember when somebody's going to follow you, they're looking at your account and they're making a decision in a couple of seconds whether they're following you or not.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have that one piece that connects with them on like a soul level that they're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is where I am right now. She's been through it, she's walked through it. I want to learn from her. They're gonna follow. if they're coming in from like,
Yeah.
like a tip or trick or like you're telling them what to do, they might not. They might hesitate on it. So I would love to get more of that on there and then just see even if those following conversions are higher.
Yeah. I look at other coaches who are doing well, and they all of the content they post are just talking reels of like, there's no lifestyle, there's nothing, and they have crazy amount of followers. But they already built
So
that, so I don't know how they built
that's what I
it.
was gonna say.
I mean,
That's
that's what they're
exactly
doing
what I
now.
was gonna say. Yeah. It's so funny to look at what people do when if you've got a big account, like we're talking people with like 100,000 followers or more. It's so funny to see the content they post now and then
Yeah.
scroll back a year or two in their feed and see what they were posting before, like when they built their account. Because now they can post anything and get away with it. You can post whatever you want when you have a
Yeah.
lot of followers. Because people know who you are and that credibility is there. When you are still building, you have to earn it. You have to earn it.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
No, that's okay. You are so welcome. Does anybody else want to chat about anything? I don't have any more.
They don't like wheels.
Mute her. Harriet, I like 5 years ago I was going through XYZ. Now I'm helping my clients overcome. Oh, that must have been for Kate. Yes. Does anybody else have anything they want to chat about? I don't think we've ever had a call this short. If not, okay, Natalie. Ah, here they come. Natalie, where are you on my screen? Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi, sorry, I was feeding my child. So I kind of had a similar question, I guess, that's been talked about through this whole call.
Okay.
How do you get your messaging to like get people to like feel something and do something? Like,
Mm,
how do you get it to like be sticky enough that they actually want to follow you? Because I just listened to somebody who was like, everyone is telling you, like, everyone's saying lose 10 pounds by summer 2026 without diets. Like, but how do you get that to like resonate? Like, because like 20 million coaches in the health and wellness space could say the same thing. But how do you get them to like really like like, oh, this is like who I want to follow, or just even pull that emotion out of them, if that makes sense?
yeah. Okay. You do not have to answer this on this call if you don't want to. Oh, did I just lose you? Oh, there you are. We can chat about this in the club or privately because
Okay.
this could be something that you feel uncomfortable with. But I know that you have lost 23 pounds, something like that. I saw on your one of your reels.
Yeah, so I've lost um I've actually lost more weight doing well, it's a long story. I have two phases to my weight loss journey. Okay.
Okay.
So we can talk about that later because it's something I'm still debating whether or not I even want to talk about it online, that
Yep.
part of it, because it's really controversial.
Okay.
Even the space I'm in, like the supplements I sell, even the people I talk to, like don't even tell, like they wouldn't want to, like there's some really strong feelings about the fact what I'm doing.
Okay.
So
That is totally fine.
yeah, and I'm not
Can't
saying weight loss is what I even want to talk about, but like I just know it's like I guess I'm just trying to nail down my messaging essentially what I'm trying to do that's going to get people to want to follow me.
so we're looking at this the wrong way.
Okay.
What can I say to get people to follow me?
Not, no. Okay. Let me, just to get more visibility. And actually, I mean, the whole reason I'm doing it is to get people to convert.
Yes. Okay.
right?
Okay. So here's what I want to know. If you are selling and you're wanting to convert people to the products that you sell,
Yeah.
what did you need to hear when you were in the space of, I don't feel comfortable in my body? When you were in the space of worrying about your health, when you were in the space of not feeling confident, when you were trying so freaking hard to change that and not seeing results, what did you need to hear? What, this is the mindset that I want you to get in. What did you need to hear? What would you have wanted to see from somebody else who has navigated that?
Okay.
Like you would probably, I'm gonna guess, you would probably want to hear that, yeah, it's freaking hard. It's the hardest thing that you've ever had to deal with, emotionally, physically, but it is
Well,
possible.
and then, but then you're looking at, well, then there's a lot of stuff too. Well, I can write a whole thing about it. Like, because then you're looking at, here's here's what's also the problem. Where I live, you look at these women who do not look the same. I don't look the same as everyone else.
So the
Like,
comparison.
it's you like your comparison, and then you find out it's anyway, it's a whole, it's really emotionally like hacking. I just don't know how, like, I'm like, I have a lot of strong feelings about it. So I don't know if we really want to unpack this on this call,
But
because
here's
I
the
feel
thing.
like I'm going to get like super heated about it. And then like, I don't know, like, so I would compare myself to other women. Seriously, I'd have a baby and be like, why is she looks like she doesn't even have any kids. And she's the same age as me, same stuff. What am I doing wrong that I can't freaking lose the weight? What's wrong with my body? Like, what's wrong with me? I tried calorie counting, I tried macro counting. Why does this not work for me? And so,
So
and then I would get jealous because people would go on a GLP-1 shot, and I've had my opinions on that, and like I have my opinions on that. But guess what? I'm on a GLP-1 shot now, and it has been life-changing for me. But in my community, if I tell people I'm on a GLP-1 shot and taking the supplements I have, people just don't think it's like, people think it's like pseudosciency, I guess. Like, it's like not pseudosciency, but like, but that's how I've been able to lose the weight I have when nothing worked, because of what I'm doing with what I've learned and being on a shot. But it's something I don't know if I want to unpack and tell the whole universe, because like, because then people are going to be like, well, it's just because you're on the shot. And I'm like, no, I'm still, what I learned before is what I'm still doing. And like, if people ask me, I tell them, but I'm not sure I want to go like super public with it, if
okay,
that makes sense.
I'm gonna tell you my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna see this in the comment section as well. I
Yeah.
don't think you have to talk about being on a GLP-1 if you don't want to. It is your life, it is your social
Okay.
media. You can say what you want or not. But
Okay.
the energy that you have right now, the like opinions, the beliefs, the perspectives that you're bringing up, the feelings that you used to have of comparison, of jealousy, of all of these things,
Hmm.
that that is going to be the content that makes
Okay.
people be like, I feel the exact same way. She took the words out of her mouth. You are saying the things that other people are too afraid to say. Or
Okay.
you also have to think sometimes, especially in health and wellness, the person who's wanting to change their body and is uncomfortable in their body probably feels really isolated and doesn't want to talk to their friends about it, doesn't want to talk to their family about
Yeah.
it because they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed.
Right.
When you put that into words and they find your content, you're saying what they can't say. And you're
Okay.
saying, hey, I see you.
Okay.
I have been there. Like I look at all these comments that are coming in on the side and everybody is like gassing
Okay,
me up to
I
share
just
this.
don't know if I'm brave enough because I'm a people pleaser and I'm not sure. And even in the company I sell supplements for, there is people think the GOP ones are Satan. I mean, not really, but like they just think they're not good. But and I mean, I had my opinion like 3 years ago. I thought it was like cheating and stuff too. But here's the thing. Nothing has ever worked for me. So, like, nothing has ever worked for me. And I think people are like, well, is it? I don't know. So, anyways, so we can talk. I don't mean to, I have a
That's
lot. It's
okay.
obviously therapy. Obviously, I probably just need to make the content and just say, screw everyone else.
I
Um,
think that also you could, I mean, we have obviously just like a fear of judgment, right? If we put this content out there,
right.
it's out there, and now
Yeah.
people are seeing it.
Yeah.
I think that there are definitely, I mean, working through that outside of getting assistance with your marketing, I think is a good idea regardless. However, I think there are so many things you can do on social media to protect yourself. The block button is free. We love her.
Okay.
If you need to block friends, if you need to block family members, if you need to block
Okay.
anyone who leaves a nasty comment, like press it all
Okay.
the time. You would die if you saw how many people are blocked on my socials, like who do not have access to me. They've
Okay.
like gone.
Okay.
Um, we also have trial reels. If you're like, I want to share this, but I don't know if I want to put it on my feed yet, and I just want to see
Okay.
what happens,
Okay.
we can put it in trial reels, which feels a little bit safer sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think even the conversation, and again, sit with this before you do anything, but like if you do ever decide to talk about being on a GLP-1, like earlier you said, 3 years ago, I had a completely different opinion on it. Like even just telling that story of like how your perspective has changed. But I think aside from that, if you wanted to lean into anything from this call, it would be comparison, the feeling of comparison, the story that you told me. This call is recorded. You can go back and listen to it. The jealousy, the I had tried everything, that feeling of having tried everything and nothing is working. You probably have a lot of stories that you could tell that your ideal client will be like, man, I'm living that right now.
Okay.
And now you have, a little bit of being on the other side. I know like you're probably not where you want to be yet, just from the content that I consume of yours, but you have made insane progress, right? And you have
Mm-hmm.
achieved a lot already that
Mm-hmm.
you can say, this is what I've learned. This is how my opinions have changed. This is, and again, like even going back to the conversation we've been having, like as someone who has lost however much weight, like this is how I approach food. This is how my relationship with food has changed. This is how I think about food. Like a lot of the content ideas that we were speaking about earlier with some of the other girls still apply to you. Like you can still talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I actually want to see what the comments are because the reality is GLP-1s are so controversial right now in the health and wellness
Yeah.
space that if I wanted to capitalize uh on him, like but then yeah, I just have to figure out if my nervous system can handle it. That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Sit with it before you do anything, but just know when I look at these comments, everyone wants to hear what you have to say, which means your ideal client wants to hear what you have to say.
okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, now I just need to sift through these comments and see if anyone else had posted an HS. Kristen, are you still on? Yes. There you are. Hello.
Hi, yes, I'm still here. My son was just put to sleep, so I was rushing out to, like I said in my message, capitalize on all the snow because I swear made my reel go kind of viral last week was just the sheer amount of snow we have. So that was what I'm going to do right now is just go film some more content with some products and see if I can recreate that. So
That's hilarious.
your question, it was just, that's what I'm doing because I think it's going to work.
I love it. Anything to generate comments. Comments always,
Exactly. So
yeah,
before
they
it
make
melts,
things
I'm
fun.
going to use it to my advantage, right? Because it has to be good for something because there's a lot.
Yeah, I know, I know. I am tired of it. Okay, cool. I love that.
Thank you.
Alicia. Okay, everyone is just still hyping up Natalie, and I love this. Natalie, if you needed permission, you got your permission. Alicia, maybe niche into women who are on it. Honestly, again, if you decide that it's something you're comfortable talking about, like I think a lot of people who are probably on it are also scared to tell people they're on it. Girl, capitalize, get paid. I love this. Okay, Kate, I have a question about trial reels. Do you post ones that didn't do well on trial reels on your page anyway? Some of mine I thought were pretty good, but they didn't do well. Um, Sometimes. So I honestly look at trial reels as like a totally separate thing than my feed. Like I post a lot of tips and like really top of funnel content in trial reels that I feel like I don't want on my feed. So I think it just depends on the content. You will, I mean, you will know, but you will see different results in trial reels versus on your feed. A lot of the times my reels perform better in trial reels versus on my feed, but saying that out loud, I have a private client right now where her reels always perform better when she posts them on her feed versus in trial reels. So you are allowed to post the exact same reel on your feed and in trial reels. You will not get penalized by Instagram. It doesn't flag it as a duplicate. They are considered two different algorithms. So yes, you absolutely can post the exact same reel to both if you want to test that and see how they perform. Or if something didn't perform well in trial reels and you're like, this is great content, I probably wouldn't pull it out of trial reels and like, the share it to everybody. I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably just post the exact same thing to my feed, like recreate that reel, or if you're making it in edits, which is why I actually really love edits, it'll just be sitting there. Copy and paste the caption, pull it out of edits, and post it directly to your feed so that it doesn't have any previous views or any like, I don't know, the algorithm in trial reels is different. So I would just throw it into your feed algorithm and see how it does.
Okay, that's
Tell
super
me,
helpful.
okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
tell
and
me if
then
that
how
makes
long
sense.
do you leave? Yeah, and how long do you leave your trial reels up? That's my other question because I have some that are just sitting there that are not doing well. So should I just delete them or?
If it's been like a week and they haven't done anything, I'll just delete them.
Okay.
I also have trial reels that have been sitting there since like last summer that I will probably never pull out. They're just sitting there. You can leave them in there.
Okay. There's no
There's
downside to leaving them.
no, not at all. But yeah, if you're gonna delete them, I would give them like a good chunk of time. I'd give them a week.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm dying over the chat. This is the best group. Okay. Anybody else? We've got 5 minutes left. If anybody else wants to hop on and chat about anything, you can just unmute yourself. Okay. I think that's good. All right. If anybody has any questions about the growth challenge and the content, and you're having trouble figuring out how to make a reel work for you, this goes for like the next month. please just like pop it under the prompt and I can help you, or anybody else can help you. And if anyone has anything pop off, share it with us so we can celebrate you. That would be so fun. And if anybody else has any questions, just pop them in the Q&A and I will get to them on Monday. Natalie, you do not need to apologize. That is literally what this group is here for. So hopefully you have gotten some permission. Everyone's hyping you up. Your trauma dump was inspiring. All right. I will let you guys go. Have a good Wednesday, and I'll chat with you in the community. Bye.